Welcome to episode 11 in the Datapack series. We're in version 1.21. We're going to make an ore detector. This is going to be a lot more complicated than the ones we've done so far. So if you're a beginner, check out some of the earlier ones, much simpler. We're going to actually be making something which is functional. So the idea is a player can come along, crafting table, get a poisonous potato, God knows why I used that, and they can craft themselves a potato of ore affinity. And then they can try and use it. You don't know how to use this item. Okay. Well, let's put some ore down anyway. Let's hide a bit of diamond ore just underneath there. There we go. But I don't know how to use it. So I'm going to make myself, shapeless crafting recipe this time, a potato manual. Okay, now I can use that. You've learned how to use the ore detector. It's upgraded. Level 1. Width 1, depth 5. Let's try using it now. 1. There's one ore at a depth of 2 blocks. And it could be anywhere at the moment in a 3x3 area. It's down here. We go a bit further away. We won't find it. But we can always make ourselves some more manuals. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of them. And we can eat these. And we're going to now level 2. We're now level 3. We're now level 4. We're now level 5. Detector is now at maximum level. If I try and eat the last one, you're already at maximum level. So now we've got a width of 2. So if we're standing here, we've got 1, 2. The block I'm on, 1, 2. So it's actually 5 by 5. And, too far away. There it is, depth of 2 blocks. And if we go a bit higher, now it's 8 blocks. So we've got quite a range on this thing. A bit higher. Oh, no, too far. But we can see here, ore count 1, depth of 18 blocks. Dig, 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 dig. 4 blocks to go. Dig, dig, dig. 2 blocks to go. Cool. So that's what we're going to be making. A potato of ore affinity. We're going to be using advancements, recipes. We're going to have a trigger. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. Basically, a lot of things that we've already covered in earlier episodes. It's a lot longer. Grab yourself something to drink, probably. I've tried my best. This is our first real long one. So if you do find, you say, oh no, this is just impossible to follow along with, do let me know. Don't just say, oh, it's crap, because that's not very constructive. Give me some feedback if you want, and I'll try and make them better in the future, because the idea is, if I'm going to be teaching you how to do it, if they're too complicated, it's not that helpful. So I've tried my best. Sorry if it's bad, but let me know. And if you just think, well, I just want the ore detector, I don't care about learning how to make it, you could just check out the download link in the description. Anyway, waffled on quite a bit, and you're going to be here for a while if you watch the whole thing, so good luck. And let's get on and build it now. Okay, here we are in our data pack. We've got the bare bones data pack, which we made in episode 1. If you're not sure, go check that out. What are we going to do? Right, now, first of all, I'm going to try and do it in an order that makes sense, rather than just say copy all these functions. We might make a few mistakes on the way, hopefully not, but there is a lot for this one. I think the first thing we're probably going to do is just go into our function directory and create a new folder and call it ore detector. And then in there I can put all the stuff relating to the ore detector. Okay, and let's start with give commands. So if you're an op or admin, you can run the give commands and give yourself the items. Later on we'll add recipes. So let's do a new file, give, and we're going to have 2. We're going to give the ore detector .mc of function. Now, I believe, yes, I made a mistake there. I didn't put dot, I put a slash, so it's thought I wanted to make another directory by the look of it. Let's delete that. We've already made a mistake. This is a good start, isn't it? Let's delete that. In ore detector directory, new file, give ore detector.mc function. Okay. Now let's write the command to give the player the ore detector. So I'm going to use a random item. I'm going to use a poisonous potato, in fact, because does it have any other uses? Why not? Give the person running the command, so S, or the person executing the function, a poisonous potato, and we're going to want some extra information there. So let's open and close that. We're going to have some custom data equals and we'll say or detector true. Let's give it an item name as well. Item name equals apostrophe in their curly brackets, and in there we'll have a name, a color, and we'll make it bold. So a name, a color, and we'll make it bold. Okay, so name will be text. Don't put name again. We'll call it potato of or affinity. There we go. It likes or. We'll give it a color. It's going to go off the screen, isn't it? Well, we had that handy tip. Left Alt and Z. Split it onto another line. Green. And in here it's wanting bold. Okay, that's a good start. We've got the most important thing is the custom data. But we're also going to need to be able to eat it as well. Let's give it some lore. Why not? Let's give it some lore as well. Lore equals open and close. Actually, lore is a list. So open and close that. And then in there we'll have one entry. So we'll have apostrophe. In there we'll have our entry. And we'll say it is text. Right click to scan for ores. Okay, and now let's have a food component. Very important, we're in 1.21. We're using the food component. I believe in 1.21.2 they've changed it to a consumable component instead of a food. So this isn't going to work for you, I don't think. If you are in that version, you're like, I can't get my head around that. What's going on? Chuck a comment in saying, oh, please can you show us how to do a right-click item in later versions? And I'll knock one up. Anyway, let's keep going in version 1.21. Let's do food. And the food is going to equal, open and close. We will need some nutrition. Can I autofill? I can. 0. I don't want them to get anything from it. Saturation, 0. Can they always eat it? Yes, otherwise they'd only be able to use it when they're hungry, and that would be a bit silly. And how long does it take to eat? Eat seconds. This one we're going to set very high. Otherwise what will happen, if we set it very quick, they'll just eat the ore detector. That's no good. So we'll set this nice and high. We'll go for 1,000,000. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's save that. And let's just pop over to Minecraft. We're not even in Minecraft. I'm so unprepared. Look at me. Here we go. I haven't even done the sign. Look at that. It still says 11, which is right. But let's do ore detector. Okay. Let's pretend they were already there. Let's do a reload. Episode 11 is loaded. Let's do a function. Ore detector, give ore detector. There it is. And we've got it. Let's have a look at it. Potato of ore affinity. Right click to scan for ores. That seems good. Let's have a data get entity me selected item. So we can see the names right. We saw that anyway. The laws there, the saturation, nutrition. Yeah, okay. And we've got the custom data. That looks good. Right. F3D, clear the chat. And let's go back to code. Now I'm going to right click, or I'm just going to click on give ore detector, and I'm going to do the control shortcuts in Windows, Control C, the copy shortcut, sorry. Control C, Control V, or you can right click, copy, Control C, copy, and I'm going to do a paste. And now I've got give ore detector copy. Okay. I right click on that and press rename, or we could press F2, it says there. Let's do a rename. And let's do a give manual. Now the player's going to use this to increase their level. I'm going to have it so when they start, they can't even use the thing. They read the manual once, then they can use it. And then they can read it, let's say 4 or 5 more times. And each time they read it, the ore detector gets better. So let's do give manual. Now at the moment it's exactly the same because we've obviously copied it. So let's change a few things. I think for a manual, well, a book would make sense. It's not the OR detector anymore. We'll now say it is the OR manual true. Let's change its name. Potato OR affinity? No, we'll call it potato manual. That'll do. We'll keep everything else the same there. Law. Right click to scan for ORs. Well, that's going to be different. Right click to gain knowledge. That'll do. Obviously, you can write whatever you like in there. And we'll keep the food component the same. Control S. Okay, let's shut those down. And let's go back to Minecraft. Let's do a reload. Let's do function. And now we've got the give manual. Excellent. Give manual. It is a potato manual. Right click to gain knowledge. Okay, we can see the extra bit there because I've got F3H on. Let's F3 and H. Advanced tooltips hidden. Let's have another look. There we go. That's better. And let's do a selected item data check on that one as well. We can see that it's got the eat component. Yeah, it all looks good. Where's the custom data? Down the bottom there, or manual. Okay. Right, we're going very slow at the moment. Let's go back here. Right, so we've given it to ourselves. I think something we're going to need to do now is we need to know if we're using it. So let's start with 2 advancements probably. We want an advancement for are we using the OR detector, and an advancement for are we reading the manual. So I think I'll call, let's make 2 more functions. New file. So let's do read manual.mc function. And in there, I'm just going to put, I'm going to leave that blank for the moment. Let's make another one, OR detector. This is going to run when we use the OR detector, and I'm going to say detect initialize dot mc function. Now I've made that mistake again. This time I checked dot mc function. Okay, so we've got 2 little things we can use there, but let's make the advancements. So let's pop over to misode, and to our advancements. Right. Requirement is going to be using an item. Using item. Conditions. Okay, so let's do the OR detector first. Conditions. Item will be, I think we'll put the item in there. So let's say poisonous potato. Okay, and then we'll use a predicate. So predicates. And what do we want to do? We want to check the custom data. Let's add that. And we're going to check the custom data is string. We'll probably have to change this. Let's just put in OR detector true. We'll put that in for now. Okay, let's put it over there. And we need a reward. Reward, we're going to run a function. The function we're going to run is IDYT, and it's episode 11. Oh, I think we have it that underline 11. And then it will go to function, and then we had it in OR detector folder. And then that, and then it would be detect init. Okay, bump. So let's try this. Let's copy that one. Control copy, or we can press the copy button down here. Copy. Let's go back. We're going to need to make an advancement. Okay, so where do our advancements go? We need in our namespace, not in function, in our namespace. New folder, advancement. Okay, now if we close down function, we should still be able to see advancement. We can, so that's the right place. And in there, new file. And this will be the advancement for using the OR detector, so we'll call it OR detector. And it's adjacent. And I will paste in what we just made in misode. And we need to change this little bit that's underlined in red. Our custom data needs to change a bit. So let's set that to what it should be. What we're going to do is we're going to put curly brackets around it, like so. We're going to take away that speech marks at the end and put it back there. So now you can have a little look at how that's done. It's all in curly brackets. The OR detector is inside speech marks and the true doesn't have any speech marks. And we're going to run OK. ID YT. So now it says that that's not there. Does it just need to update? Let's change one letter. No. OR detector, detect init. Now what have we done wrong? Because I can see that we do have a detect init in OR detector. Ah, look at here. Now this is a lesson for you. That could have kept me going for ages. We've taught MC fecunction. So we've got a spelling mistake, so it's not finding it. Okay, so let's do F2 on that, because that was a shortcut to rename it. And let's get rid of that C from there and move it there. Now we have the right one. Let's go back to our advancement and let's just try updating it by changing a letter. Okay, now it's happy. We'll save that. Let's close down the advancement and revoke it. So advancement, revoke for the player that's executing this only. And can we put ID, beginning of our namespace? There's our advancement OR detector. So we're going to revoke that first, and then we'll just do a say. Say, I used the detector. Save. Okay, let's go back to Minecraft. Let's do a reload. And let's try right-clicking that thing. Cool, I used the detector. That's working. Let's go back. Oh, that's not the right place. Let's go back. Okay, now we don't need to change much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste our OR detector advancement. So I'm going to do Control-C, Control-V and make a copy of it. And then while it's highlighted, I'll press F2 to rename it. And we'll change this to Read Manual. Read Manual. Okay, now most of the stuff is going to be the same, but we're not using a poisonous potato, we're using a book. And it's not called OR detector, it was called OR manual. And we don't want to run the detect init, we want to run the read manual. So let's save that. Let's go to detect init. So let's close these advancements. Here we go, let's copy that. Control copy. And let's go to read manual and paste that in there. So let's change that to I used the manual, and we'll change this to OR manual. Oh, it's not called OR manual, it's called read manual, and we'll save that. And well, now we'll go back and we'll do a reload. And we'll try right clicking. I use the manual. Great. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. We've actually got something happening. Okay. Here we are. Let's close read manual and let's close detect and let's see what we're going to do next. Right, I want to define a list of ORs that my OR detector is going to check for. So we're going to need a block tag list. So where should we put that? So let's shrink down function, shrink down advancement, and in our namespace, we will make a new folder called tags. And in tags, we will make a new folder called block. And in block, I'm going to make a new folder, new file, and this will be my OR list. This is going to be the list of ORs that my detector will check for. So let's just do one. I think what we'll do, we'll start with one block. Let's open, press enter, and we're going to need, I think it's already, look, it's trying to fill it in for me already. We're going to need some values. Can I just press tab? I can, that's pretty good. Okay, that's going to be a list of values. And let's just have one. We'll say Minecraft coal ore. Right, so now our detector is only going to find coal ore. Well, that's pretty rubbish. So you might want to add another one. So we might do comma. And then we might find Minecraft deep slate coal ore. So now it's a coal detector. It's not really an ore detector, it's a coal detector. Now to save myself time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a load of stuff from my other page and paste it in. So all we're doing is the same thing. It's just a list of all the different blocks. So let me paste there. Okay, we've got a mistake on the redstone. Let's change that. So it's the same format. If it's not the last one, it has a comma, 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 all the way down to the end, which doesn't have a comma. And it's just a list of blocks that my ore detector is going to check for. So you can take any out if you want. I thought this seemed like a reasonable list. And we're going to save that. And we're just going to close it because we're not coming back there unless we make a mistake. Right. Now, what do we want to do next? We've done the give function so we can pick it up. I think probably let's do the manual. Or should we do the using function? This is where it gets a bit tricky. Everything sort of interconnects. So it's like, where should we start next? Let's do the manual so we can level up our ore detector. So let's go to function and let's go into ore detector. So I suppose we're going to need something called level up. So new file, level up.mc function. Okay. Now I'm also going to want to be able to see my level whenever I like. So I'm going to make another file called level show.mc function. And I also, if I'm maxed, I don't want to waste my book, and I just want a message saying you're already at max level. So I'm going to make another function called level maxed. Okay. Now, one of the things we are going to have to do is go into the load function because we're going to need some scores. So let's go into load. And what do we want to load? We're going to need a load of scores. Episode 11, I have loaded. That's okay. Let's move you down a bit. It doesn't matter if you have empty lines. You can just move these around as much as you like. You'll ignore the empty lines. So let's do scoreboard, objectives, add. Now, my ore detector is going to have variable width and depth. So I'm going to have a detect width, which will be a dummy. Let's copy that, paste it in there, and it's going to have the depth. Now I'm going to go down, when I'm detecting the ore, I'm going to go down one level at a time. So we'll detect one block beneath us, have a look, then we'll detect 2 blocks beneath us, have a look, and I'm going to need to adjust a scoreboard. So we better have a temporary depth as well. So let's copy that again, and we'll have a depth, and we'll call it depth temp. I'm going to have a detect level, and I think that will store a value of what level was the ore on when we found it. How far down was it? Yeah. And then I'm going to have how many ores did we find? We'll put that in anyway. We'll do an ore count. Detect. Or count, I suppose, would probably be a good name for it. Ore count. So maybe there's more than one ore on that level. Now I'm going to need a trigger so I can run my show level function. So we're going to have a trigger in here as well. So let's do show level, and this will be of type trigger. So these are just all scores. We've done scores before. And if we're using a trigger, we're going to have to enable that. So scoreboard, players, enable for all players, show level. And then it says I have loaded. Okay, that seems good. So we'll save that. Obviously, if we need anything else, we can come back and add it. I think, I'm going to make an unload function as well. So let's go. I'm just going to copy and paste my load function, rename it to unload. We'll change that to I have unloaded. Then we're just going to remove all these dummies. Can I select them all? I probably could with a find and replace, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do that. Let's move all the types off the end. Then add is going to be a remove instead. I'll double click on that and copy it and paste all the removes down. We don't need to enable it since we're ending or disabling the pack. We are going to be using some data storage, so let's clear that as well. Data remove from storage. I'm going to store it in my data, and we'll have a detect width. And we'll probably have a detect height in there as well. And then we're going to unload. Well, then we're going to tell the player we are unloaded. And I did get a little tip from Yushiko saying if you want, you can actually disable the Datapack as well. So we could do Datapack disable. What are we called? Now this one, it might be easier to get its name from in the game. So let's pop over and we'll do Datapack disable. Okay, so there's its name. So let's fill that in with tab, and then I'm just going to copy that. Copy. There we go. That was handy. And now we'll go back and we'll paste that in there. So now it's going to remove all the objectives. It's going to clear the storage. It's going to say I've unloaded, and then it's going to disable itself. For testing purposes, I am going to make that into a comment so it doesn't actually disable itself. Save. Okay, let's clean up. So we've got all our objectives added. Whew, okay, level up. This is going to happen when I read the book, isn't it? So we have the advancement, read manual. That is going to run the function read manual. So let's go to read manual. Read manual is going to revoke the read manual advancement, and then we will run the level up function. Function level up. Save. So when we're reading the manual, we're effectively leveling up. Cool. Let's go to level up. Right. First thing I want to do is add 1 to their detect level. So, oh yeah, it's not how deep we're going, the detect level. It's the level of the player. How good is their ore detector? So let's do, I've read the manual, scoreboard, players, add to my detect level, and we'll add 1 to it. My level has gone up by 1. But we want to check a few things. So let's do execute if score at S, detect level matches 1. So I've used 1 manual so far. Run tell raw at S, open and close. Let's get some text in here. Text. You have learned how to use the ore detector. Okay. And I'm going to copy that beginning bit because I'm going to have 1 more, 2 more. So you've learned how to use the ore detector, and then we'll do scoreboard players set at S. We'll set the detect depth. Let's say if you're level 1, you can go down to depth of 5. Scoreboard players set and a width. Let's set the width to 1. So width is going to be minus 1 block. Let's say to your left. Let's say minus 1 block to your left and plus 1 block to your right. So a detect width of 1 is actually going to scan a 3 by 3 pillar. So if you had 2, it would be 2 to the left, 2 to the right, and your center one you're on, so it would be a 5 by 5 pillar. So we've changed that. Let's copy that command, and we'll add. So if they eat another one, they'll be level 2. If they eat another one, they'll be level 3. Another one, they'll be level 4. Another one, they'll be level 5. Let's fill these in. So that's if they're level 2, if they're level 3, if they're level 4, if they're level 5. So you could change the depth and the width. I think I'm just going to change the depth. So it's going to stay a 3 by 3. And the depth is just going to go down a bit deeper each time. So if they're level 2, let's say they can then go down 10 blocks. If they're level 3, they do 15. If they're level 4, they can do 20 blocks. And actually, let's say if they go to level 5, they stay at 20 block depth, but their width goes to 2, which means 2 plus 1 plus 2. So it's a 5 by 5. Does that make sense? That might be a bit confusing because I'm going to use the 2 in relative coordinates. So I'm going to have minus 2 to plus 2. So that is going to give me a 5 by 5 area. Right. And it'd be nice if we actually told them what their level was now. So let's do a tell raw at S. Right. What do we want? Let's do a text. Let's say for detector upgraded to level and a space. That seems all right. And then open and close. We're going to do a score. So let's put a score in here. Score. We'll need a name. Which player are you going to get this from? I'm going to get it from the player executing the function. What score? What objective? Well, I want their detect level. Okay. I suppose we could tell them the width and the depth as well. Why not? Open and close another one. Text. We'll need a space. And then we'll have, a minus sign. We'll say width and a space. Okay, we're going on to 2 lines. Let's do our left Alt and Z. Then after that, we're going to need another score, aren't we? So let's copy this score. This is the advantage of Datapack. You just copy stuff so easily. Let's copy that score in there, but we'll change it to detect width. And then let's just copy all of this and put that on the end, and we can change that to depth and change this to depth. Okay, that seems all right so far. And let's give them a warning if they're at the maximum level, so they don't try eating another book. But if they do eat another book, we're going to be stopping them anyway, so that's no problem. So let's copy this bit here. If their level matches 5, then we'll run a tell raw for that player, and we'll say detector is now at maximum level. Right. So this is what's going to happen every time they use that book. That's no problem. But if they are at max level already, we're going to want to do a little check. Because there's no point running all of this stuff if they're already at max level, because we don't want them to eat the book or waste the book. So here, let's do another little check. We'll copy one of these. So they come into the function. and they are at level 5, which is max. We add 1, so this is now going to say 6. So if this says 6, they're already maxed. So what we'll do is we'll return out of the function, which means nothing else afterwards will get done. But while we're returning, we'll also run function level maxed. So what we're going to do here, they come in. If they have a score of 6, we will return. That means none of this is going to get done. We are returning out of the function. But just before we return, we are going to run this function. So let's go to level maxed. And in here, let's get a copy of a tell raw command. Let's just get this one here. This should do. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a very complicated one, I don't think. We just need basic tell raw, so let's take that. And so in level maxed, what we'll do is we'll say, you are already at maximum level. Detector already at maximum level. That seems all right. And they're still set to 6. We have to set them back to 5. So we also better do scoreboard players set at S, detect level 5. Okay, let's exit out of level maxed. So level up. They come in and they're level 5 already. We add 1, that makes them 6. That fires off this check here, which returns out of this function, so none of this runs. Before it does, we run this level maxed, which says already at maximum level, and we set you back to 5. Okay, that seems good. That seems good. Right, let's go out of there. Level show. This one's going to be a trigger. So we're going to need to be checking that trigger, and we'll have to do that in a tick function. So I do have my tick function in my Minecraft tags function. There's my tick JSON, which is running in my namespace, my tick function. So let's go in there. And in here, we're going to want to be checking for, has the trigger changed? So let's do execute as all players. Scores equals, what did we call? We called it show level, didn't we? Show level, yes, equals 1 or higher. We will run function level show. Okay, save. Let's go to level show. Here we go. And here we want to be, well, obviously we want to be showing them their level. Do we have any code that we can copy from somewhere that's make it a little bit quicker for us? I think I'll level up. Let's go Alt Z. It does have this or detector there. Let's copy this one. Level show. And let's paste that in there. Left Alt Z. Okay, let's change some of this. We'll just say or detector level, and then it's going to say, and it's going to say the level, yeah, then it's going to say the width, and then it's going to say the depth. Okay, let's do S. Let's try some of this out, see what we've got. So what we're looking to check is if we read the manual, we will get the advancement read manual. That will revoke the advancement and run level up. It's going to add 1. So first of all, we should learn how to use the OR detector. Then our width and depth should go up a bit each time until we get to maximum level. And when we're at maximum level, nothing should happen apart from it tells us we're at maximum level. Okay. Let's try that. Now, anywhere at all, are we actually removing the item from them? We're not at the moment. Let's go into Minecraft. Let's do a reload. Okay, let's eat one. Ore detector upgraded to level 1. Oh, I've spammed it. Okay, so we're not actually... It's working for now at max level. Already at maximum level. Okay, so that worked. What about if we try and run that trigger? Trigger show level. Okay, it doesn't look like we're resetting the trigger either. So we could be in trouble there, because that's probably still running, isn't it? Okay, so we're not resetting the trigger. We have to do that. And we're not eating up the book. We've still got the book, so that's not very good either. Right, okay, so we've got a couple of problems. Let's go back. So first, level show. So here, we're going to want to scoreboard, players, reset, S. Is it show level? We called it reset show level. And we probably want to enable it again. Scoreboard, players. We need to enable that trigger. Enable S show level. Okay, let's go back. Reload. Okay, so now if I trigger show level, triggered show level, or detector level 5. Okay. That seems alright. Yeah, it's only running one time and I can do it more than once. Cool. And it's telling us our width and our depth. That's nice. Okay, what was the other problem we had? It doesn't actually use up the book. We just keep the book. So I think we're going to have to do some sort of munchy thing there and gobble up our book. I think we could just set their item. So let's go here. Level show, that's working. Let's get rid of that. Level maxed, that's working. Let's get rid of that. The tick, that's working. Let's get rid of that. So we're doing a bit of tidying up. Let's go to our level up. And I suppose somewhere in here, we're going to have to eat that book. Can we just do item replace entity player executing the command? Is if they're reading the book or sort of trying to eat it, it's going to be in their main hand. So weapon main hand with air. Control S. Okay, so if it gets all the way to the end, it will replace the book with air. But if they're already at max level, remember none of this is running, so it won't replace the book. Okay, let's go back. Back we go. Let's do reload. And I'm going to do an unload, if I type it correctly. It would be helpful if I ran the actual function, wouldn't it? Function unload. Okay. So I've removed everything. So I shouldn't have any scores. We should be starting from fresh. Let's reload the whole thing. And let's start with the trigger. Trigger, show level. Or detector level, nothing. Okay. Can we get rid of that triggered show level? Probably a game rule. Is it send command feedback? Let's try again. Trigger show level. There we go. Okay, so we can't do anything with it at the moment. Let's try and... We can't use your detector. Let's use the book. Aha, you have learned how to use the ore detector. Ore detector upgraded to level 1, width 1, depth 5. And the book's gone. Okay, so let's give myself a few more books. Give manual. I think the easiest way here is just to copy it since we are... There we go. Let's eat another one. Level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and detector is now at max. Let's try and eat the last book. You're already at maximum level. Cool. We don't want to quit. Thank you very much. We're going to go back. So that's leveling up system seems to work. Let's close that down. Whew. Right, now I suppose we actually need to be able to use the thing itself, and we're going to want to make some recipes for it. Let's do the function. Let's get it working. And I think for the recipe as well, what else should we do for the recipes to make it a bit more interesting? We make a shapeless recipe for the manual. We'll give it a glint, and we'll give it a max stack size of 1, so they can't stack the books and it'll look enchanted. We'll do that for the recipe. For now, let's crack on and make the thing actually work. So we can look at our advancement. Or detector is running detect init, so that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to make a couple more functions in here. So detect init is where we start, and then I'm going to have a new file. And I'm going to call this one, so I'm doing a detect init. I'll call this one detect macro. That's where we're going to be sending stuff into. And then we'll also have just a detect. Okay, why have we got 3? It'll make more sense in a minute. So we do the advancement. We come into detect init, and we revoke the advancement. Okay, we still want to do that. So let's get rid of I use the detector. We don't want to do that anymore. Right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check, do they have a level of at least 1? If they don't, I'm going to say, well, then you don't know how to use the OR detector, and I'm not going to do anything. So I'm going to execute unless score at S detect level matches 1 or higher, run title at S onto the action bar, and we'll just, we'll have a color. Yeah, we'll have a color. Make it stand out a bit. We'll have a text. You don't know how to use this item. Haha, we're going to be mean. Let's do left alt Z, get it onto 2 lines. Color red. Okay, and I'm also going to take that there. So, and we will just do a return, and we'll say fail. So if they don't have a score of at least 1, we're going to say they don't know how to use it, and then we're going to return it out of this function, so nothing beneath will get run. However, if they are level 1 or higher, we're going to keep going. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of their detect depth. How deep will it go? So we'll do scoreboard, players, set. Actually, we'll set the depth to 1, because we'll start at 1 first. Let's set it to 1. Detect depth temp as 1. Okay, so this means we'll first check -1 block beneath the player, and then later we'll check -2 blocks beneath, then -3 blocks beneath. And we're going to set that into, well, we need to set the width into storage. So let's set the width into storage. Execute store result into storage, and we called it my data in the unload function. My data detect width as an integer, times it by 1, or a scale of 1. Say it's put scale for me. Run scoreboard players get at S, get their detect width. So we've stored the detect width into our storage. And then, so this is the initialization. Then what we're going to do is we are going to function ID. Oh, they're all there anyway. Now we're going to go into the detect. Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening here. I right click the advancement triggers. It runs this function. It revokes the advancement so we can use it again. If they're not level 1 or higher, it just tells them they can't use the item and it exits. If they are level 1 or higher, then it will set detect depth temp to 1, doesn't put it in storage, it just sets it for now. And then it puts their width into storage, and then it runs detect. Okay, let's go to detect. Whew, these are getting confusing, aren't they? In detect, we are going to have to check for some ore. And this is going to be the sort of the more confusing command. So what we're going to do, let's see what we're going to do first. First thing we're going to do is store that depth. So let's do execute, store result into storage, my data, detect depth as an integer 1, run scoreboard players get at player detect depth temp. Okay, now why are we adding this one to storage in here and not in the init? And the reason is because the width is never going to change. While we're running the macro, the width is not going to change. But the depth is going to change. The depth is going to go down one level at a time. So we need to keep updating that. So this one is going to be done in here. You'll see when we get to the end of this function how it's going to update. So for now, we'll save it there. Then what we're going to do is reset the ore count. Scoreboard, players, reset. We had detect ore count, so we'll reset that to 0. Now what we're going to do is run the macro. So we'll do function detect macro with storage my data. So in detect init we saved the width into data, and in here we saved the depth, the temporary depth into data. We reset the ore count, and now we run the macro. The macro is going to go and find the ore, and then it's going to come back to this function. So when it comes back, obviously I'll explain, finds the ore a bit better later. So when it comes back from finding the ore, well, it might not have found any. So let's do execute if score at s detect ore count matches 0. So if you didn't find any ore, then run scoreboard players add s detect depth temp 1. So if it comes back and it didn't find an ore, add 1 to the detect depth. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of that. And if the ore count is 0, and if score s detect depth temp is less than or equal to s detect depth, then run function this function again, Alt Z. Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening. Detect init. We revoke the advancement. We check to see if they can use it. If they can, we set the temporary detect depth, and we save detect width into storage, and we run detect. We come into detect. We save the detect depth temporary into storage. We reset the ore count, and then we check for ore. Then we come back. If it didn't find any ore, then add 1 to the temporary detect depth. And if it didn't find any ore and the temporary detect depth is less than their maximum detect depth, then run this function again. So you can see here that as long as it's not finding ore and our temporary depth is less than or equal to our depth, we're just going to keep looping around and around this function. Okay, so now let's actually go and detect an ore count. We'll do that in the macro. Now we're going to use the clone command. We've done one of these in the command block tutorials. I have no idea which episode it was. Sorry. So since we're going to be using some data in here, we're going to need this line will be using data that has been passed. And we will execute at, I suppose, that player. It's not happy at the moment because we've got that sign at the beginning. It's saying, hey, look, you're telling me you're using some data, but you're not actually using any data yet. I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll take that out for the moment and we'll make this command without the macro. So execute at s, store result as a score at s. Do you know, I don't think I... Oh, yes, we do need the at. Yeah, we want to do it at the player. Yes, we do. Detect or count. Run clone. Okay, we're going to clone 1, 2, 3. Begin there. End there. It's nice that it splits that up for you like that. Destination there. That's pretty cool. We are going to filtered. Have we gone off the page? Can we do Z? What are we looking for? Well, we want our block list. So our OR list we made earlier. What on earth did we call it? We'll probably need our namespace. There it is. Filtered for our OR list. Force. Okay. So what we would be doing is we would be doing -1, -1. So -1 on the X and Y. So that's sort of, let's say I'm facing positive X. So that's going to be sort of the corner behind me. And we want to go +1, +1. Corner sort of off to the right in front of me. And we want these coordinates. Destination is going to be the same as the begin. So this is going to be -1, -1. So that's currently checking at my feet, but I obviously want to check beneath my feet. So we're going to do a -1 there, a -1 there, and a -1 there. Okay, now I think you've probably used relative coordinates before, but this is obviously hard-coded. In fact, I think we could leave it hard-coded and do a check, but let's go straight on. So this width, this 1, that is our, let's go to detect init. That is our detect width here, which is stored in my data. So we need that one. And this Y value is our detect depth, which we set in here. Here. So those are the two things we need to be using. So let's say, yes, we are going to use some data in here. And let's just set one of them. We're going to keep the minus sign. And I'm going to say, okay, we're going to use some data here. Here I'm going to use the detect width. Okay, so I'm using the detect width there. That seems okay. And now we just need to put that everywhere where we're using width. So now because we've got that on, the Datapack helper doesn't seem to like it. It's gone all more confusing now. So X, Y, Z. Z is a width one. Then we have X. X is width. Y. Y is depth. Z, width. X, Y, Z. Okay. And now we want the depths. So let's change this one here. And we'll change it to depth. And let's copy that and put it in for all the Y values. S. Okay. I don't like the fact that the command is all gone strange colours, but we'll worry about that later. Right, let's go on. So let's say title all players whose scores equals detect or count equals 0, and then we'll do action bar. We'll do it action bar. Don't know what I was thinking when I wrote run there. We'll have some doink doink. Let's have some text in there. Or count 0. Let's make it red as well. Color red. So this is going to count the ors. This is going to, if there's no or, we'll say or count 0. That seems fine. Let's copy that. Copy. Make another one. If the or count is 1 or higher, I suppose. Let's have a think. Yeah, it should just be 1 or higher. Yeah. 1 or higher. I don't know where I just wrote. Yeah, that's right. Then we'll all count. Get rid of that, and we'll need a score instead. S. Now, where did we use the scores before? We had them. We had them in the level up, didn't we? Let's go to level up function. Left Alt Z, and that way we can just copy one of these score bits here. There we go. Control copy. Datapacks. So we'll need something else in here. Open and close. This is going to be a score. So all count. Well, actually, let's not make it red because this is successful. Let's make this one dark green. There we go. That's a bit nicer. And then what we'll do here is we'll have a score. Oh, we've got 2 sets of brackets there. We paste in that score. Oh no, we don't want to detect width though. We better put the or count in there, like that. And then let's tell them what level it's at, or how deep it is. Okay, so let's do another bit of text. Another bit of text. I suppose we'll need a space, and then we'll say depth, and then a space, and then we'll put in another score. Oh, I forgot I overwrote my score. Where is it? Here it is. Wink. We'll put another score in there, but this time it will be the detect depth temp. That should be the level we're currently at. Okay. So it's going to say depth something. I'm going to put another bit of text at the end as well. Text blocks. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. And then what do we need to do now? Let's play a sound. If there is some or, let's play a sound. So let's do. We'll copy that scores detect or count. Let's execute at any player with that. Run play sound block dot note. We got a list there. Which one should we have? Let's have bit. Played on the master channel for that player. Just that player, because we don't want everyone else listening to their detector noise. 1, 2, 0. Volume, pitch, min volume. Save. Okay, so we're coming into the macro. We're feeding in our width and depth that we stored. If the or count is 0, we tell it 0. If it's 1, we tell them they found some. Okay. I feel a bit scared about going to check it. Let's go and check it. Reload. So I should be able to get any or on the list. So we'll try diamond. Why not? Would be fancy. And let's do. What I'm going to do first actually is I'm going to do a function unload, and we'll do a full test. So we've unloaded everything, removed all the scores. That's effectively reset me, and let's reload it. So let's put the diamond ore there, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's try and use my potato. I don't know how to use this item. Ooh, that's good. Okay, let's read one of the manuals. Let's make a copy of the manual first. There we go. Let's read one. You've learned how to use the ore detector. Upgraded to level 1, width 1, depth 5. Okay, let's stand on top of 6 blocks. All count 0. Okay, now 5 blocks. All count 0. 4 blocks. Ah, here we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's its depth. And we found one. All count 1. Depth 5 blocks. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Cool. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's read another one. Let's upgrade. So we couldn't read it here. All count 0. Let's upgrade. Width 1, depth 2. Depth 10. Yeah, 8 blocks. That would be 9 blocks. That would be 10 blocks. That would be too far. Yeah, cool. So that's working. Let's eat another one. Depth 15, depth 20. We're maxed out. Right, we know that that height thing is working, so let's get rid of that. Let's take that. And we've got a bit of a slightly wider range now. So before, here's what I mean by the width. So if our width is 1, we're going -1 there, the one I'm standing on, and +1. So we've got 3 by 3. If our width was 2, 1, 2 would be -2, the one I'm standing on, and +2. So I should be able to detect that from here. Yeah. And I'm max level, so probably here as well. Yeah. Because it's in our 2, 2. If we go 1 further away, no. Cool. Seems to be working. Wow, I'm amazed. This video's gone on for ages. Let's make it so a player can use it in game, because a player's not going to be able to give themselves the potato. That is a problem for us. So I think all we've got left to do really is, because they can check their level with trigger. I don't think people are going to do that often. They're going to max it out and never use it again. But it's nice that they can. So I think if we have a recipe, this would be basically a sort of a functioning data pack. Let's do that. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to clear my chat first. Let's go back here. Okay, so let's shut down these. Let's close down the function one there. And we're going to need a recipe. So we're going to have to go to Misode, I suppose, make ourselves a couple of recipes. These could be a little bit cheeky. Let's make a recipe for, I think they're both going to be a bit complicated. So the recipes are going to go in, we've got advancement function tags, a recipe we want in line with these. So in our namespace, new folder, recipe, in here, new file, or detector.json. It's going to be unhappy because there's nothing in it. Fussy, fussy, fussy. Okay, let's pop over to Misode. Yeah, we've got the advancement generator. Okay, well, can we click on this here? Yes, we can. Recipe. Right. Let's do, for the ore detector, let's do a shapes recipe. We'll have 2 items. Let's say key. So this key, we'll have P, we'll add that. That's going to be the poisonous potato. And I'm going to add another key as well, which I'll say D. Let's add that. And that is going to be diamond. Deep slate diamond ore or diamond ore. I'm just going to use diamond ore. So key, P and D, poisonous potato and diamond ore. Yep. Pattern. Row. The top row is going to be diamond ore, diamond ore, diamond ore. The middle row is going to be diamond ore, poisonous potato, diamond ore. And the bottom row is going to be diamond ore, diamond ore, diamond ore. Okay. It's not showing my little thing there today. But we can see, look in here, we've got DDD, diamond ore on the top row of the crafting grid. So it's basically a poisonous potato surrounded by diamond ore. Right, what is the result going to be? The result is going to be a poisonous potato. But we need to add some stuff to it. So we need to add some components. So the first thing, food component, we'll add that. Yeah, add one of them. So the nutrition, we had 0, can always eat true. Eat seconds we had as 1,000,000. There we go. That's all right. Yep. Let's add some more components. Let's add custom data. We'll say it's a string. Did we call it ore? Detector true. We'll have to edit that. Let's also give it an item name, and we had lore as well, didn't we? So we had item name. Add that one. Let's just call it a name placeholder because I'm going to need to edit that. And we had some lore. That one. And I think what we'll do here is we'll probably just call this lore placeholder because I'm going to need to edit that one as well. Okay. Oh, we wanted it to glow, didn't we? Do we want it to? Oh no, the detector we don't want to glow. We want the manual to glow. Okay. It's based on a poisonous potato. We better put a stack size though. Components. Max stack size. Add that. Hey, where have you got? I see you there. How do I change you? Oh, not max. Oh dear me. Let's get rid of that one. Component. Max stack size. We don't want the one with the exclamation mark in front of it. We want this one. There we go. Now I can put 1. Okay, you can only have 1 on. Let's copy that. Copy. Let's take it back over to our recipe in VS Code and let's paste it in. Bang. There we go. We've got those problems we normally have with the data and name. So we put the curly brackets around that one and we take away. Oh, now we've got 2 of them. So that one's fixed. Okay, name placeholder. I'm going to write these at first, just like normal sort of JSON text. So let's just get rid of everything in there. And I will do open and close curlies. Now it's not going to like me for a while, so sort of ignore what I'm doing for a bit in a way, because it's going to be grumpy with me. But we're going to want some text. And we had a colour, didn't we? We had green. And I think we said it was bold as well. Okay, so we're just doing it as normal, like we would normally do in commands. Text, potato of ore, affinity, color. Was it green or dark green? Does it matter? Green. Right. So how can we make this thing happier? Well, first of all, we'll put some speech marks around the curly brackets. That makes it a little bit happier. But what it really wants is it wants us to escape all the speech marks inside. So we're just going to have to put some little, you can see it's getting happier as I go along. Little backslashes in front of all those speech marks. Bold, you got 1 and you've got 1. Ah, and now the item name is happy. Okay. So what we can do is, in fact, let's do it the easy way. Let's copy from the item name and copy over the lore placeholder. And I'm going to remove the bold. And I'm going to remove the color. And I'm just going to change the text, which we had right. Click to scan for ores, I think is what we had. And let's do a save on that. And now what we're going to do is go back to Minecraft with our fingers very much crossed. We're going to reload. We're going to get ourselves a crafting table. get a load of diamond ore, and we need some poisonous potatoes. Not that one. Go away. Okay, so I'm a normal player. Doobie-doobie-doo. Did we do reload? If in, I can see it written there actually, but if in doubt, reload again. I was going to type game mode. I've completely forgot about this super handy tip. Right, we're in survival. Bang, there's my crafting table. I've got a normal poisonous potato. I'm going to surround it with diamond ore. Now my poison potato loves ore. Yum, yum, yum. Excellent. That seemed to work. All count 0, all count 0, all count 0. That seems all right. Can I put one down and then just jump on top of that? Whee! Cool. Okay, so we can make the potato of ore affinity, but we can't learn how to use it yet. We're going to need to make the book. Right, so back to... Do you know what? I think this might be easiest if we just copy this recipe. Oh, we do want shapeless though. Okay, let's make a new one. Let's go back over to Misode. We're going to go up here and we're going to make a shapeless recipe. It's got a lot of leftover information from the last one. Some of it we want though, so we're going to keep it. Let's change the result. The result is not going to be a poisonous potato. The result is going to be a book. So let's change the result. Book. Okay. Minecraft book. This seems good. We've got nothing here in the ingredients, so that's we need to change. Let's change that custom data down there from ore detector to ore manual, I think we called it, didn't we? Ore manual, just to remind us. Then we've got the name placeholder, we've got the lore placeholder, we've got the max size, and we want an enchantment glint. So glint. Override the enchantment. Add that. True. So now we've added the enchantment glint. We've still got the max size. Okay, I think that's probably all we need for the custom components. Let's get the ingredients. Ingredients is going to be a book. A book and something else. A book. Diamond ore. Why not? Diamond ore. So over here on the right, we've got type, shapeless, ingredients, book, and diamond ore. As long as you've got one of each, they can go anywhere. Yep, and it's going to give us back a book with components. Okay, it looks good. Let's copy it. Back over to VS Code. Right-click in our recipe directory, add a new file. Ore manual. JSON. Oh, I put colon JSON. Paste that in there. Right, okay. Looks good, but we've got to change all that stuff from before. I think the easiest way to do that is just to copy it from here, really. So let's just copy this one. Ore detector. Let's paste that there. And change you to ore manual. Happy now? Okay. Save that one. Let's copy the name as well. Copy. Paste you over the top of that one. What did we call it? Potato manual, didn't we? I think that was it. Cool. Save that. And last one. Let's copy the lore. And paste that. And what did we say? This was right-click to gain knowledge, or whatever you want to say. Save that. Okay, that should be our extra recipe. Off we go. Let's reload. I have loaded. Where's my crafting table? There it is, but I don't have any books. How on earth do I bring up that menu again? There we go. Let me get myself some books. Ook. Crafting table. Let's go. Well, let's do it in survival. Crafting table. One there. One anywhere. They'll do. Yeah. Potato manual. Okay, let's use it. Oh, I'm already at the max level. Oh, what a shame. Well, I suppose I could do function unload the entire data pack, which effectively resets it because it removes all the scores. Then we can reload. And Let's try and use the ore detector. Don't know how to use it. Let's use the manual I just crafted. I've learned how to use it. I can now use it. There we go. Now, I could keep waffling on probably for ages, couldn't I? But we've been over now. And this is probably the longest episode yet. 1 hour and a quarter. We've done a lot. If you followed along with this one, well done. Now, let me know, though. Is it too confusing? I think this isn't meant for beginners, this one, obviously. Beginners do the episodes where we're just doing one little thing at a time. This is just sort of like, let's actually make something we could put in a world and it would be usable and good. Well, I say good. Is it good? I don't know. It's pretty handy to just poop around finding ores easily, isn't it? Let's go over and have a little look at what we made. So, first thing, let's say we've made a recipe for each one, so we can craft the things in the game. We also used the tick function, so we could run a trigger, and the trigger runs a function that shows us our score, so that's handy. We made a couple of advancements, so we know when we're using each of the items, and then we made the functions for actually using the items. Not too bad, I think. We used most of the things we've done. We've done advancements, we've done recipes, we've done a trigger, we've done ticking, loading, unloading, all sorts of stuff. I tell you what I will do. Last thing, let's go to the unload and let's uncomment that. Dunk. So now when I do the unload function, it will disable itself. Let's check. I'm in my world. Datapack list. Of course, well, we turned the game all off, didn't we? Send command feedback. Turn that back on. Datapack list. Okay, there's a list of them. There's the ore detector. There are no more data packs available. Function. Unload. I have unloaded. Let's do datapack list again. It's still there. It should be unlabeled. It should be disabled though. It's in the list. Let's have a look. Data pack enable. Oh, well, it didn't seem to disable itself. Did I get its name wrong? Let's do a little test. We want to fix that. Datapack disable that one. Okay, so it says disabling. Let's just copy that command. Copy. Let's do a data pack list. Now, see, that looks better. So it's definitely disabled. There's one data pack available. Okay. Let's re-enable it. It's now enabled. Let's go back. VS Code. How have we got this one? Let's paste this one underneath this one. Okay, it looks exactly the same. And I have to say, when I did testing, this did work for me. So I'm not sure why it didn't this time. Delete. Save that. I am stumped. Well, everything else works, and this is just a minor thing. And after recording for 1 hour and 20 minutes, I don't think we're going to restart the video just for this little problem. I wonder why it didn't work. Let's do F3. Let's do datapack list. Let's try the function. Is it just been unload? I have unloaded. F3. Let's do the list again. Oh, okay. Maybe I hadn't saved. I bet I didn't save it after I uncommented it. I bet that's what it was. Okay, it does work. Panic over. Not that I was really panicking, and I'm sure you weren't either. Anyway, isn't it amazing how long I can just add to the end of a video by waffling? I'm terribly sorry. There we go. We used a lot of the stuff we've already learned to make something we can actually put in the world, and a player can craft it using items, and then actually have a functional device that they can use. Right, I've got to let you go. I'm terribly sorry. I'll see you later. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. And remember, chuck any suggestions and comments, questions, whatever you like. I'm always happy to read them. See you soon. Bye-bye.